Hello Beans, welcome to Blue Bean Harvest 13, Awakening Part 2. I've just finished recording and uploading Awakening Part 1. And I felt I wanted to do this one now as a follow-up. Much shorter, the other one was 3/4 of an hour, and this is just very straightforward. So what I want to deal with is just the continuing your understanding of the illusion, in the sense of us being is conditional upon our position. Okay, so if we consider choice, thought, okay, so what do we do in every moment? So we have the choice of balance of what to be in each and every moment. In each and every moment, it is literally to be or not, to be loving. That's it, okay? And if we're loving, we're empathetic, we're forgiving, we're kind, we're generous, we're attentive. Yeah, we're serving the needs and helping where we can. It's loving. Really, it's nice to see people happy. And can you imagine the world if everyone starts to turn on to the idea that we are all divine children, expressions of the one true and only creator, the big G, and that this is our divine playground, in a sense of, we can just be happy-go-lucky as children and loving and free, and then we can grow up in an awareness of quite innocently of who we are, and understanding that this is a world of discovery and of wonder and of joy and of peace and of harmony and love. And that's just the beginning. So to be or not to be loving, that is the question. And the answer is yes in every moment of captured awareness. Captured awareness because it's not free roaming and egoic nonsense. Okay? So, once we begin to consider everything from a God perspective, yeah, and apply love and forgiveness and understanding to every situation, then we're going to grow, and the growth is personal, and the more people embrace this notion of who we are, as crazy as it all sounds, and I'll get back to that as well, then it's going to change planetary things. I just want to touch on that for a second. Just think about this, okay? So there's the planet, and everyone thinks there is no God, and we're not divine children, and we have to survive. And survival is reacting to situations where we can remove the fear of losing something perceived that aids our survival. That's that vicious cycle, isn't it? Whereas if we approach things in a sense with glorified divine abundance, there's no need to worry about anything ever. Yeah, I'm just going to get a drink. It's hot here at the moment. It's 34 degrees. No, it's not. It's 33. It's 33.1. There you go. So it's quite warm. Anyway, so if people start to turn on to the idea in your own mind, and remember, this is an individual thing, all right? Talk, yeah, talk. Everyone should talk about this, how wonderful it is. My understanding is this. What do you think? Oh, right, okay, yeah. And it's another angle. Take it on board. Oh, no, I don't see it like that, actually. How do you see it? I see it like this. And there's this constant interchange of truth and untruth becoming apparent in our awareness, and we become more aware to truth. Oh no, yeah, that sounds right. It's just a natural, yeah, we're drawn to it, okay? But then suddenly what happens is that on this planet, the numbers of people embracing that notion of divine self increases, and it increases, and it increases. And it increases further still until true heaven on earth is found for everyone. So heaven on earth is a perception. This is the place. Okay, got it? And now, at this time, I'm saying that I'm the big G as you are the big G, because we are divine children of that creative element that's created all of this for us to be aware of self as divine child, so that we can explore the wonder of divine creation. Yeah, it's a wonderful existence, the notion, the beauty of nature as it plays out. It's amazing. Anyway, so how do we do this on a moment by moment basis? Whether the moment is the daily cycle, it's an hour, whatever your reference is, to me it's just being aware constantly as God. Yeah, that's the only place that I can be of which I think, well, there's nowhere else to go. And when I'm in that position, then I can just accept and embrace everything. No worries. I'm not, if I was, I've referenced religious groups and cultural groups, like Aboriginals here in Australia, the notion of the group of identify as gay, and whatever you identify as, I'm not interested in labels, to be honest, because it's just, the problem with a label is it's limiting. And the truth is that we are limitless, infinitely limitless beings. Yeah, does that make sense? And when we move out from I'm just, well, no, I'm not just, I'm just so much more, I'm everything, because I'm a divine child. And this is just one aspect of the experience. Oh, this is what it's like to feel as though I'm a gay person. This is what it's like to feel as though I'm a bisexual person, or as a transgender, or whatever the L A to Z of it is. All right, it doesn't matter to me, and I'm not dismissing. It's just that I don't believe that sections should be identified and labelled. It's just divine child being, which is your right to be without judgment or consideration or concern. Because the hope is always, that you will find within your sense of being the notion that you are divine child, and as such you act from a perspective of God being aware in this experience. So this is the way divine child works. So in Australia, where I am, there is a lot of concern of violence towards women. Share this and let this ring out and true. I think it would be perfectly acceptable for all perpetrators of violence against women to just pause and find the courage within themselves to identify with this label, understand, appreciate, look at it from your partner's perspective when you're pounding down on the innocent recipient of your uncontrolled aggression, your fear, yeah? I mean, that's just not love, is it? It's like doing exactly the same thing to an innocent child. The damage on a child at this point is unreal. Yeah. So if you're a man that's doing this, or indeed if you're a woman that's doing this, I've sat and listened to couples where women are bullying. And all you have to do is find the courage within yourself to identify with it and just to recognize it as what it is. And that is not loving. If it's unloving, then it's not a divine thing, is it? It's based on an egoic reference born of accumulated perceptions resulting in fear. And at this point, because you've identified it as unloving, you can simply say enough's enough, I'm not going to do this anymore. I did have a thought just before I did this, in the sense of applying this, what I've just said, in this moment of a man reacting to his own awareness of self and what he does and how he's received. And I had a notion of saying that a lady who's in that position, or a man that's in that position, or a child that's in position, may find the courage within themselves just to let the person know that they love them as often as possible, and remind them that you hope always to receive your partner's love. Okay? And this will hopefully build within them, the aggressor as it were, a sense of comfort and a space of relaxation and peace. And in this way, things can be embraced that might change it. Remind them that you love them and thank them for not beating them, because you both know that's not loving, and you understand that it's been difficult for them and now they're getting control, and you respect them for that, and you'll never leave them because you want to work through this, because you realise that at the beginning there was a good person in that you wanted to be with, and somehow this person has changed, perhaps. I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I'm very mindful of bringing peace in some way as a constant hope, as a constant light at the end of the tunnel, as a constant reality at the very edge of your mind's perception, so that you can draw it to you as a reality based on a choice of self-love, because you're worth so much more as the divine child that you are. So, in your daily moments, there is just balance. That's all it is, balance. What are you going to be? Are you going to be unloving, or are you going to be loving? If you dwell on anything that really pisses you off, and you find in your awareness emotion coming to the surface and bubbling up, and then that's the cycle you need to move away from. As I said in part one, I had an experience of that caused me distress in relation to loved ones, and my perception is that I'm going to take that whole experience and use it as a learning element so that I can just go boof and show up different. And I'll explain prior to my arrival so that, you know, there's a level ground, there's balance, yeah? So that there's a choice in that moment for each. Yeah, there's always a choice, isn't there? Where are you going to be? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? To be or not to be loving. That's the only question here. Always, always, every moment in your awareness. And I choose to go up. Yeah? Elevate yourself. Become more, more, and more. See more, be more. Feel, see, touch. Become aware of so much more. Anyway, that's it. This is Awakening Part 2. All you have to do is be present as divine awareness, the divine child that you are. Just be present as that in every moment. All right? Remember, the most powerful person in the world can afford to just sit and do nothing because they know they are the most powerful person in the world. And everyone that acts with force, everyone that acts with a controlling measure is offsetting their internal fears. Even if that's imposed upon them that they have to do it, it's still a fear, isn't it? Oh, I've got to do it. You know? This is the freedom that we're all missing. But things have to be changed. I'm going to do another video on that in the sense of society and how it will grow from here in a heavenly sense. It's so easy. It's so simple that everyone can embrace it now because it's the time. Thank you. Good night. God bless. I love you all.